All right, hello, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of the One Up Sales Development Podcast. For today's guest, I got for you guys is a real true honor for me, you guys. I've been following him for quite some time now, and you guys probably have been too. This guy is a young buck hustler. He's coming in hot, straight in the game. Still fairly new, but he's making a dent in the sales development game, and I'm sure you probably know and seen him too. So, this individual, he grew up around the San Francisco's area. And normally when people who comes into sales development, they go to San Francisco and they would typically stay there because, San Francisco is the tech land of sales development, so to speak. But this individual decided to take risks and he'll decide to, let you know about his journey later on. So young, straight from the gun, everyday practitioner. He also loves, his big fan of yoga. His parents used to be a yoga instructor, and that has to be huge in the sales development game, which I'd like to dive a little bit deep later too as well. He started out his sales development journey over at a company called Teamable Software, now over at a company called Udemy. Please give me a warm welcome for Geno Oliva, sales development at Udemy, aka the coldest cold caller in the game.
Hey, man, dude, you crushed the intro, dude. I'm honored.
Shit, Geno, man, so happy to have you here. How you doing, brother?
Dude, I'm doing good. It's a Monday morning, working from home. Just it's a beautiful day here, so I can't complain too much.
Sweet. Yeah, Geno, just before we get started, man, I just got to say, I really start noticing your LinkedIn presence, just little by little. And really what really got me to reach out was your subject in the light, AKA the coldest cold caller in the game. I saw that shit. I was like, okay, this guy got to be either really, really, really good, or that's just his thing, he's putting out there. So yeah, man, welcome aboard. And I love the videos you've been posting out too. There were some comedy video sketches that you threw out, and it was very funny. It's just from the front lines for the front lines kind of thing, and I was like, fuck, I gotta get this guy on the pod, man. Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. It's with this job, dude, like cold calling, all this type of stuff, you gotta have some humor in it, like the whole basis behind the coldest caller of the game thing. I thought it was fucking hilarious, and it's just funny, man. I just try to have a good time with it. If you're too serious on the phones or too serious doing this, you're just going to burn out and not have a good time. And I think it shows a little humor and a little, just making this thing as fun as possible.
Yeah, definitely. No doubt. So Geno, without further ado, man, why don't you go ahead and just walk us through your background about, where'd you grow up and how did you end up in sales?
Totally, man. So I grew up in the Bay Area, went to college at USF, and my entrance into sales was kind of funny. I got a major in marketing, kind of like that. It's pretty much a business major. And a couple of my really good buddies from college got into sales. And I didn't really think about it too much, but we were just hanging out. They were telling me a little bit about it, kind of their day-to-day, the money they were making, just give me the whole inside scoop. And I was like, you know what, this sounds pretty interesting. Let me look at this a little bit more, look into it a little bit more deeply. And the more I researched it, the more I talked to people in the sales profession, and the opportunity that I saw there just kind of seemed like a no-brainer rather than any other career path I could start out on. And so I kind of got a warm introduction into Teamable Software from a couple of my good buddies, Johnny and Cam, and then the rest is history, man. And yeah, I just I didn't plan it. It kind of just organically happened, and I love that I'm here.
Oh, nice. Okay. So just to run it back, your friends were in the sales development game, and they're just telling you about hey, Geno, this is what we're doing. You gotta check this shit out. And then
100%.
Nice.
And
nice.
And I'm a pretty outgoing guy. I like talking to people. It just seems kind of a natural fit for me. You know what I mean? I'm behind an office all day, but I'm talking to people every day. It seems I like the career growth in it too, and honestly, it just seems everything aligned. So. Perfect.
Yeah, no doubt. And that's the B2B sales world, right? Tech sales world, inside sales, you're calling people to the point where you've never seen them before. You don't know what they look like. And, in most case scenario, you would never even meet them in the first place. But that's the business, business, So just out of curiosity, when your friends told you about sales development and tech stuff in the world, was this before graduation?
Yeah, I kind of got serious into the job looking game. I guess probably 3 or 4 months before graduation. I was just enjoying college. Then kind of that senior moment hits where you're oh shit, what am I actually gonna do when I graduate? Like, like I'm not in college anymore. I got to make money somehow. We got to do something. So I started looking into it, started looking into marketing roles, different business roles. And that's when I really considered sales as a career and started interviewing different places.
Nice. Okay, so let's run it back real bit. I really want to go ahead and reverse engineer on your journey because it's very, very, very interesting, and it's gonna take you a long way, that's for sure. So really happy to see that. And so, what made you choose marketing in the first place?
Man, I probably switched majors like 4 or 5 times. Switched from like psychology, went to psychology for a little bit, loved history, went to that for like a semester or so, dabbled around in like finance and like business, and kind of ended up with marketing. Not just, I mean, it wasn't because like I have like a huge passion for marketing. It just seemed like a pretty fun skill. I loved it a lot. So it just kind of fell right into place. I was like a junior. I think I really needed to declare. I had amazing teachers in the marketing field, and it seemed like something I could get around. Seemed like some useful skills that I could bring if I ever wanted to start my own thing, and then just kind of naturally fit in.
Nice. Okay, yeah. So that's that's funny. I love that. And there's a lot of talk nowadays in the sales development world when it comes to sales and marketing, right? So typically, sales development it's its own organization that sits in between sales and marketing. We pretty much bridge the gap. So how
Yep.
has majoring in marketing like kind of prep you to help you out when it comes to working or having alignment with marketing over at where you're at?
Totally. It's
Yeah.
honestly, it's really helpful for a lot of reasons, but I feel like the outbound sales development role is pretty much a marketing role. Like I view it as like I'm pretty much fishing for like warm leads. I can fish for people who are like kind of into e-learning or kind of like have a sense of it and kind of are interested in it. So it's pretty much like an outbound marketing role where you're like learning for people, giving the Udemy name out to people, kind of see who's fishing, and then taking those kind of inbound-ish leads and like making sure they're quality for my account executives. So I'm super involved in marketing. All this stuff that they put out is gold for me to use. We have an amazing team here, and it's pretty cool because I picture myself as a part of the marketing team. I don't think it's like separate at all. Like it's
Nice.
really, really aligned.
Nice. I love that, man. That's the right mindset to have, together as one. It's like, hey, what do you guys plan to do? Why are you guys planning to do that? Well, let me go ahead and get a line and get the messaging with that. Can't just have them
100%.
throw stuff over the fence and you'd be pitching something else, right?
Exactly. I mean, we gotta be, and they have great messaging, man. They have great stories. They know why people are interested. They like know a lot about the customer life journey. And when I first started here, that was one of the first things that really took a deep dive into is the marketing team, what they're doing, how they get customers, and why people are even searching to Udemy in the first place.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay, so can you tell us a little bit what Udemy really is for those who's listening? Like they're wondering, what is Udemy? URL learning, but can you dive a little bit deeper about what you guys really offer in terms of like solving solution pain points and stuff?
Totally, man. It's really an amazing company. So when we first started, we were just a place where anyone could teach a course and anyone could take a course on our website. So it was really a consumer business, strictly for people who wanted to give their knowledge and pretty much any like industry, anything, business, technical, yoga, meditation, how to train your dog, anything like that.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so it's like really across the board, and then it started getting a lot of traction. A lot more people were actually teaching courses, and a lot more people were taking it. And then eventually, I think it was like 5 or 6 years ago, we saw a lot of people saying, "Hey, for our businesses and employees, there's a lot of technical skills and business skills that we need for our employees." So we created this business platform where employees have a subscription to our top like 4,000 courses across the business and technical space that they can take to increase their knowledge, whether in communication, leadership, sales, business, or on the technical side, like Python, Java. So it's really kind of like a one-stop shop for any professional or technical skill you need. And it's really amazing because I'm really passionate about learning. I'll try to learn something new every day. Like I love reading and things like that. And it's really just taking that and giving it to employees so they can learn and develop whatever they need.
Oh, nice. Okay. So it's pretty much, so like you said, right, it's URL learning, but it's more like robust kind of thing. Like you go in and you guys offer training for just about almost anything in there?
Yeah, definitely. Our kind of bread and butter is like the technical side, because those skills
Yeah.
are just changing every day pretty much as new updates. So any engineer, anyone in that technical space can like learn what's going on, if you new updates in Python, AWS, things like that. And then I just take it for like communication skills, copywriting, anything like that. It's a really robust platform. Um,
Nice.
and yeah, exactly. It's pretty much anything that you want to learn or think you need is on there that you can take. So it's
Got
awesome.
it. Yeah, I checked out the website earlier too. Looked pretty cool. You guys do offer several courses too as well. And so
Yep.
what? So where are you at when it comes down to that? Do they have you in specific sectors and like, hey, Geno, we want you focus on these topics only, and the other guy focus on different topics, and then that's when you start beginning your outreach, or how does that work over there?
Yeah, so my outreach is kind of like a two-pronged approach. I'll pretty much hit anyone in the technical side, IT, engineering, anyone in the technical sector that needs like updated learning, and then I'll also hit like HR and L&D who are interested in just like giving their employees development opportunities.
Nice.
So I can target a lot of different people at a company, which I love, and then the messaging tweaks a little bit, but yeah, it's pretty much across the board, which is a really cool thing for me.
Nice. Are you? So it's a demand gen style, pretty much, right? You're launching out, like you load up a lot of people too. Like, hey, this guy's starting to get hot a little bit. You should start attacking them more. Like, hey, you know, people who has more engagement, like open more emails and stuff. To really just come in, like, hey, man, this is Geno. What you need me? You want to learn?
Exactly.
You want to learn more?
Exactly, man. And the cool part about this and this company too is like it's a pretty well-known company in the space.
Yeah.
And like truly like deep down in my heart, I believe we have the best content and the best courses of like any other company. And I think anyone could use it. Like I'm super passionate about learning development. Like I love it. It's like a part of me. It's always been a part of me. So like whenever I'm on the phone or reaching out, like it's like, hey, like this would be really cool for you and your employees to have.
Yeah.
And I think that authenticity and just love for the product really comes out in all forms of my outreach.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Hey, so Geno, what I want to do now is just take a dive a little bit deep in terms of backwards real quick. So you were at a company called Team Teamable, right? Is that
Teamable. Yeah,
Teamable?
teamable.
Okay, Team Able. So can you tell us a little bit about your experience there? So you came in, excuse me, you came in as the first SDR. How was your experience, the onboarding, and when did you realize, okay, fuck, this is the shit right here. I'm gonna stay all in with sales development and work my way up.
Yeah, man. It was a really interesting experience. It was almost polar opposite of my Udemy experience, both in amazing ways. So that company is very small. I think there was like 15 people in our office. I think like 30 to 35 employees in total. So super startup vibes, super small, like incredibly close to my VP of sales. Knew my CEO really well, and that whole experience was like we didn't really have any marketing materials. We were like not well known at all. People would kind of trip up on the names on the calls and stuff. So it was a really like bare bones start into sales development, like 100+ cold calls a day, kind of doing everything on my own, no real established territories. So it was really good for me, kind of just like thrown in the deep end. Onboarding was a little bit, but not too much. It was just pretty much like, hey, let's throw you in the deep end, see if this works or not. And I think where I really knew that I wanted to do this as a long-term career path is I was pretty good at it, like naturally. Like there wasn't a huge learning curve. It didn't
Oh,
take me too long to like get a hold of the process, and I started doing well. I saw the money opportunity that I was making here, and I liked it. You know what I mean? So that's where I kind of saw myself. Like I kind of just tested it out, see if I was going to make it, and I made it. So here I am.
nice. Nice. I love that, man. And that's when you made the jump to, like we were talking about earlier, when you jumped over to Denver, Colorado, right? You guys moved for specific reasons?
Yeah, it's just like I don't know, like before I settle down, do all the grown up things, like get a house and all that. I just kind of want to live in a few different cities. Denver was on top of my list. My girlfriend and I visited a few different cities, kind of fell in love with the mountains and everything over here, and just wanted to check it out. You know what I mean? Just wanted to, see new places, get different experiences at different companies and things like that. And it really worked out here. I mean, we're quarantined right now, so I can't do much, but it's still
Yeah.
just a beautiful place.
Yeah, definitely. Gino, so when it comes to cold calling and stuff like that, one of the most important aspect, like before you make that mental switch, before you step on the phone and start smiling and dialing, right, is really to meditate, which is yoga too. And there's a lot of a lot of people talk about this in terms of topic. I myself included. There's this guy that a good friend of mine known as Keith Cordero. Are you familiar with Keith Cordero?
Love Keith, man. Yeah, talk to him. He's an amazing guy. I'm super involved in it. And he's like a really deep practitioner as well, because he started doing it before going into his sales career. So yeah, I love him.
Yeah, aka the mindful sales rep. Shout out to you, Keith. That's my dude, man. Yeah, still to this day. And it's do you still do yoga today too, like on the side? Is that something that you also implement too before you actually just hop on a damn phone and just start going at it?
100%, man. It keeps me clear headed. It keeps me balanced. It keeps me non-reactive when someone's like, don't call me again or whatever people say on the phone. It's definitely needed. I don't think I would, I think I would be a lot more reactive to people negative feedback and maybe not having a good day and things like that. So it's definitely a very important practice to me just to keep me level headed and, just kind of calm and balanced throughout my day. So I'm not, having high highs, low lows, things like that. That's super, super common in the sales industry.
Yeah, love it, love it. Can you share us like just one little small best practice that you typically do when it comes to whatever it is, whether before you start hitting the phones, or maybe someone tried to throw shit against you across the wall, like, screw you, man, motherfucker, and you're like, oh, or don't call me again. It's like, screw this, let me get back to my mindset. Like, what's your go-to practice there?
Dude, I think the most important part about cold calling and just kind of cold outreach in general is just being like happy and positive on the phone. I think humans do just like naturally can feel authenticity and just kind of, someone who's like happy, kind of enjoying it, kind of, radiating positivity. And I think they put yourself in that mindset, however you do it. You know what I mean? If it's music, go do that. If it's meditation, if it's yoga, do whatever that thing is. But make sure before you're hitting that call sprint or whatever you're doing, just make sure that you're positive. Because if you're on the phone, like, hey, this is Geno calling over here from Udemy, or like, hey, this is Geno calling over here from Udemy, it's so different. And like people can resonate it. I know it's through the phone, but people hear that, people feel that, and it's a total different, mindset change. So before I do anything like that, I just make sure that my mind's in a good place for this job.
Nice. I love that, man. Yeah, thank you for sharing. And you're absolutely right. Right. So we're cold calling them. You don't see them. They don't see us. They're picking up the phone, and that's the first thing they hear is your voice. Like they hear something like, "Hey, man, it's Geno, man." It's like, "Oh, yo, who the fuck is this?" It's like,
Yep.
"Hey, Geno, you new to me?" Like, "Oh shit, what's up, man?" Hey, as a matter of fact, thanks for the call during this quarantine. I need it.
Yeah, exactly, man. And I think it's more important than any like opening script or like different tactics you need or objection handling. Like all that stuff is super important, but
Yeah.
definitely the most important thing that will get you the farthest, even just talking to someone on the phone, is that positive energy and just kind of that, happiness around you.
Yeah, I love that. Hey, Geno, so I gotta get down to the chase, man. So your headline, that the headline. Okay, so I'm gonna put it out there, right? So I have like 8 years of sales experience and shit like that, but no one gives a fuck, If I scroll down and I see someone with a headline like that, I was like, oh man, this guy either gotta be the shit, or or he's just fronting, or like maybe like there's a lot. I guarantee right now, there's a lot of people on LinkedIn right now who maybe you just throw out some content like you did with that awesome videos, right? It's comedy, and it catches some traction, right? There'll be people who would see that headline and they'll find it intimidating, especially like the old folks, and they're like, who the fuck is this guy? He's new,
Yep.
he's trying to make noise and shit, but screw the negativity and all that. Talk to us about that headline. How did you come up with that? How did you just decide to say, you know what, this is me, I'm an everyday frontline practitioner, I'm gonna throw it out there that I'm the coldest cold caller in the game?
Dude, I mean, it kind of came like when I first started into this, I like was like pretty active on LinkedIn, searching everything, and
Yeah.
everyone's headline is pretty similar. It's like either like what they do or it's like how they help organizations, and that was like kind of the two things that I saw. And one thing that I wanted to do was kind of just like stand out, kind of like I don't know if you're like read Josh Braun's stuff or anything
Oh
like
yeah.
that, but yeah, dude, being a red X and to see white circles, like I just wanted to kind of stand out and show my authentic self. And I knew some people were not going to like it. I knew some prospects who saw that would be like, who the fuck is a salesman reaching out to me? But I'm all about authenticity, you know, man. Like I just want to be myself, kind of put myself fully out there. And not everyone's going to like it. Some prospects are going to be like, no, but I've also got some people emailing me like, hey, I saw you're the coldest scholar in the game. That's pretty funny. So like me and my friend were just getting getting a beer at a bar after work in SF, and we're just kind of talking and kind of just like spitballing stuff, kind of having a good time, just like decompressing from work. And I don't know how exactly it came about, but it was just like, you know, dude, we're the coldest callers in the game. And then we just started busting out laughing, you know, dude, I'm just going to take this and run with it and kind of just put myself out there.
Hell yeah, dude. I love that, man. Big fan, a big supporter of Geno. You know, like I mentioned, there's going to be a lot of people who's hating and shit like that, right? But you got to shut that shit down. Who gives a fuck about them? You know, who gives a shit? You know, they ain't going to do anything to help you out.
Nope.
But I love that, man. And big fan of authenticity. You know, that's how I got to where I am today. And, you know, there was a few times too where before I started really posting like my real content and stuff, would all been real, but like, you know, the actual one that has like a lot of value added stuff. And I told myself, fuck, man, I don't know if I should post this because I might get some heat for this, you know, because it's kind of like cussing and shit like that. And I told myself, man, fuck it, dude. This is who I am, you know, threw it out there. And yeah, man, all well for it. So I love that. So Geno, what's next for you? I really believe, if my predictions are right, you know, cold calling, you love it. That's what you want to do. Mm-hmm. But your route is probably going to be AE. Is that right?
Totally, man. I mean, that's a goal. That's like kind of, you know, in the future. And right now I'm just like focused on killing the cold outreach, you know, ADR game as best as possible. But that's definitely in the back of my mind. That's definitely where I want to go in the future. And yeah, I want to be in the sales game for a long time because I like it. So why not?
Yeah, I love it, man. No doubt for sure. That's you. I know for a fact you're gonna be really successful in that. I'm really happy to see that too. Gonna be following your journey closely on that. So Geno, hey man, for the audience listening, you know, the coldest cold caller in the game, we gotta hear you spit some stuff, man. Would you be open to doing a quick role play real quick?
Let's do it, man. I love that.
Okay. So you're gonna be where you're at, right? ADR at Udemy. And you'll be reaching out to me. Maybe, let's say I'm an HR leader at a company of, you know, 100+ employees, whatever. That's who you normally reach out to, right?
Yeah, like L&D leader, and then like 2,000, 5,000 employees. But let's do it.
Yeah, let's do that. So HR, I'm the leader of, you know, learning and development. HR with 2,000 people. They haven't really learn much, and reaching out to me, and the goal is for you to go ahead and book an appointment.
Let's do it, dude. Ring.
Hello.
Hey, Jackson.
Yes.
Jackson, how's it going, my man? This is Geno calling over here from the company called Udemy. I know you probably haven't heard my name before or my company, but I was hoping we could speak for, you know, 40 to 50 seconds about why I'm calling.
Geno, why? Sure, absolutely. I don't see why not.
Sounds good, Jackson. That's a great response there. I'm calling because I'm working with other L&D leaders in this space that are looking for ways to develop their employees, and really any topic they like. A huge topic around this area right now is just learning development and career growth, and my company can do that for you. So before I go any further, I wanted to ask you, how are you developing your employees currently right
now? Good question. You say this is Geno?
This is Geno, yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for the call, Geno. Yeah, so learning development right now, we use these old courses that it's not as broad. You know, don't really have any test scores or assessments, so it's kind of hard to measure. And, you know, we're mostly quarantined for the most part now. We're just staying home, right? We're working from home. It's that coronavirus and stuff like that. But to answer your question, what do you have to offer? Because we might be looking for something new.
Totally, man. I'm actually hearing that a lot. A lot of the content that employers are getting right now is a little outdated. But my company Udemy has 4,000 updated and in-demand courses for your employees to take, and pretty much any topic they need. So So I'm really hoping to find, 20 to 30 minutes of your time, hopefully this week, but at your earliest convenience, so we can do a really deep dive into this conversation. So when do you have 30 minutes free for us to talk?
Okay, so just before that, you guys offer courses for sales and marketing too as well?
Totally, man. We have a lot of different courses. Pretty much any topic that you can think of, we're gonna have development opportunities for you and your employees. So I'm happy to go into it in a little bit of detail right now, but I know I caught you kind of out of the blue here, so I was really hoping we could schedule some time for me and then my product expert to really dive into those sales and development courses that you're looking into.
Okay. And how do you guys how are you guys separated from other companies, just out of curiosity?
Yeah, we're pretty much fundamentally different than any other courses and content providers you're gonna have. We have thousands of instructors teaching courses, and then we just curate the best content from those instructors and give it to you. So we're not paying any instructors to do anything like that. We're seeing on our platform what are the best courses and what are people actually liking, and then giving it to your employees. So this content and these courses are things that people are actually getting real value from.
Got it. Okay. That sounds good.
Yeah, well, I appreciated this conversation, Jackson. I think there might be, a need here, and there's a little bit more detail we can go into. So, what time do you have this week to have a little deeper dive conversation?
Nice. Boom. There it is. Geno,
Boom.
I love that, man. Threw a few objections at you just to see what you did and how you reacted, and you took it smoothly, bro.
Totally, man. Honestly, I try to have a short conversation, man. I try to pitch the meeting. I don't want to get into too much detail because I know people, aren't really super receptive on a first initial cold call. So kind of just try to acknowledge a few things and just get right into that meeting.
Oh man, I love that, man. Geno, thank you so much. That was awesome. I had a lot of fun, man. That was great, man.
This is cool, dude, and it's great to meet you face to face. I know we LinkedIn message a lot, and I'm excited to keep this moving forward, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Geno, as we're running up the time here, I just want to wrap things up real quick. So, if there's a new SDR and BDR in the game right now, they just started and fucking, they're phone shy, right? They're allergic to that shit. They're like, man, I want to stick behind a computer, just emailing, LinkedIn, social, and Twitter, but not really the phone because I'm a scared little bitch, So what kind of advice can you give them to break out their shell and to one up their game when it comes to cold calling and really become, one of the coldest cold caller in the game, just like yourself?
A huge thing that I think everyone should do who are just starting into this game is, whoever they're close to in their office at work, it's just really sit down with them and then cold call with them. That's what really helped me a lot. A couple of my buddies, just killers on the phone. Where I learned the best is just me sitting next to them, getting on the phones, hearing what they're doing, and then just kind of doing it with a group. Because if you're just doing it on their own, I know it's hard in this remote time where we're all working from home. But even through a Zoom call, if you can pair up with someone who's established, who's actually already killing it, and you can hear them and they can hear you doing it, and you're kind of doing it as a group, it's gonna just propel you. And then you're gonna slowly get the confidence where you can just do it on your own. That's highly what I recommend.
Nice. I love that. So that's how you do it, man. You really just sit down with that top rep, listening to them like, hey, Geno, hoping you can help, man. I'm fairly new and I really want to get where you're at. Take me with you,
Exactly. And people love that, man. People love to help. Most people are good people. If you reach out to them, they're going to love to do it. And yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. Geno, if there's someone on the pod right now, want to reach out to you and say, hey, man, much love. Thanks. Enjoy this episode. What's the best way to do that?
LinkedIn, man. LinkedIn's the way to go. Geno Oliva, coldest caller in the game headline. Look me up on there. I try to keep pretty active on there. I respond to everyone who messages me. And so that's definitely the way to go. And would love to, answer any questions, just connect with people. That's what I love to do.
Love it, man. And there you guys have it, folks. Geno, thanks again for hopping on the One Up Sales Development Podcast, a.k.a. the coldest caller in the game.
Let's go, man. This is awesome.